Okie dokie. Yes, we're recording. Super. Um, as you know, I'm doing a degree on religion, politics, and ethics. This year has been very much religion focused, and I'm doing my kind of final essay, not as we speak, but in the middle of it at the moment. And the question asked me about religioning, and that's a new word on me, or at least for this year, it was a new word on me. Religioning. Okay, I'll give you a brief description. It's um, the act of doing religion. Okay, so what people do when it comes to religion, and it's been quite interesting, really. Um, but it's also highlighted the fact that a lot of these things that people do when it comes to religion and looking for the same kinds of experiences we're looking for here. Okay, so the freedom, peace, healing, um, joy, bliss. Okay, that's ultimately what people are looking for in religion, I think, anyway. Um, all of these things that people do, the food they eat, the fasting, the praying however many times a day, or praying however many times a week, and the god or gods that we speak to, etc., etc., all of those things, um, they're all looking for this experience. They're all looking for an experience of health, an experience of happiness, an experience of joy, an experience of peace or calm, um, with hopefully the idea to carry it back on, um, not just in that period of, say, meditation or prayer, or 5 minutes of calm in the morning before the kids get up. Okay, we want that 5 minutes of calm before the kids get up to extend into 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 2 hours, 6 hours, a whole day, a whole week, etc., etc. We want that to expand out and out and out and out and out. So it's just been interesting to kind of look at this stuff, um, from a kind of scholarly perspective, and go, actually, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about here, and I've been talking about it here for a while. I just didn't have a word for it. Is that all of the things we do could be classed as, even though this is non-religious, okay, and anyone who's in this group could be of any religion, I don't care, okay, or no religion, again, I don't care. Um, it's it's kind of religioning. It's the things we do to feel a certain way. And I just want to let you know that we don't have to do any of them. I would say the exception, and this is what I've been thinking about for the last 2 weeks that has kept slipping my mind, is habits. Reminder on habits. I knew it would come out at the right time. uh, we become what we think about. Okay, and this is where our practices, our kind of physical things that we do, come in. Okay, because we become what we think about, and we also become what we do. So the more we do things we don't like, okay, the more we think about things we don't like, the more they will show up in our life, because they've become a habit. Okay, and habits are really easy. Um, it's like a train track. Okay, in your brain, okay, we've got these tracks of neural pathways, which, if we use them frequently, become kind of thicker, and the connection between them becomes faster. And then we've got these other tracks, which are more like a dirt road, where there's one or two kind of, okay, or not one or two, but it's probably hundreds, but a smaller number of connections between two places. Um, so it's the information, or that habit is much harder to do. It takes more effort to kind of get up off your bum and do, I don't know, the exercise, or the not going to the fridge, or the cupboard, or the going out for the run, or whatever. Brushing the teeth. So brushing the teeth will be a nice, assuming you brush your teeth at least once or twice a day, will be a nice thick kind of cord of uh, neuronal tissue. Just go, right, okay, yeah, wake up in the morning, go to the toilet, brush teeth. Okay, it's in there. Okay? But also, what's in there, as a nice thick cord, could be worry, stress, fear. Okay, um, thoughts about particular people in your life. Okay, maybe difficult people, maybe not difficult people, maybe people you really like and get along handsomely with as well. So not only do we have physical habits, we have thought habits, and I think it's easier to change our thought habits than our physical habits, but the two do go hand in hand. So sometimes we need to do religioning. We need to have a practice that takes us to a place. Okay, here we do meditation. Majority is meditation based, but the meditation is there to help you to change your thought habits. Okay, so if we change our thoughts through the practice of meditation, we will then change our kind of other kind of unconscious physical habits, the way we speak, the way we think, the way we do stuff. Okay, we might be able to stop ourselves from doing things that we don't like ourselves doing. Uh, Again, I'm going to go back to going to the fridge and opening the cupboard and scoffing the things that we shouldn't be eating, or that we feel that like we shouldn't be eating, or the not getting up to go and do the exercise, or the snoozing the alarm, or whatever it is. Okay, um, using our thoughts, we can change those things. Okay, and it doesn't necessarily take just pure willpower and discipline of like, right, yeah, I'm going to have a checkbox of things that I'm going to do in the day. I'm not going to go to bed until this checkbox is done. Okay, that's one way. That's the discipline. I'm just going to do this stuff until it's done. And it is a way of forming good, strong physical habits, but it will almost always feel like you're efforting to do these things. It could leave you very, very tired. It could be the wrong thing entirely for you and your purpose and your life. Whereas if we step back and change our thoughts and go, right, okay, I'm going to do the best thing for me, and I'm not quite sure what that is. Okay, I think it might be this, it might be running, okay, or it might be going out and get my 10,000 steps, or it might be hitting a calorie target. It could be those things, but I'm going to leave the door open for it could be something else entirely, something else that's easier, something else that just fits me more as a person and fits in with my life perfectly. And it's going to knock all the challenge out of this task. Okay, so I'm just going to leave the door open, okay, to how are my habits going to change? I don't really know. Okay, I have some ideas, but my ideas might be wrong. And this goes back to the phrase "I will for no decisions." Okay, um, that might seem like a funny thing because we're making decisions all the time. Okay, um, but it's not making decisions like you sit down and go, right, okay, I'm going to lose weight. Okay, how am I going to do that? Right, I'm going to tick this box, tick this box, tick this box. Okay, um, it's asking your intuition. Okay, it's asking a higher power. It's asking a something, an entity, okay, or a consciousness that knows you better than you know yourself, and that will guide you. Okay, it might guide you to a calorie target. I don't know. I can't be certain. Okay, in this particular example, um, it might guide you to hiking up mountains. Every weekend you go out, you drive for 2 hours and you go to the Peak District, or you go to, I don't know, the beach, or you go somewhere and you walk a 6 hour walk. Okay, and that might be your thing. Okay, who knows? That might then lead you to meeting somebody, to having a conversation, to getting a new job, to um, having another relationship. Again, this is or just a friendship, even not another. It doesn't have to be a that kind of relationship. Um, just someone in your life that changes things for you and improves things for you. And it's like, oh, if only I'd met that person 6 years ago, that would have been amazing. And if I was doing this thing that just suddenly came to me that I thought about doing years ago, but I never got around to doing it because I thought it was dumb, or I thought it would take up too much time, or I thought it wasn't the right thing at the time. Okay. Then I can, you know, I've now everything could be different now. Everything could be so much better and effortless. Okay, so religioning, to summarize, religioning is basically the habits to do with religion. Okay, the practices and habits we have to do with religion. Okay, but people do religioning with exercise. Okay, and the box ticking. Okay, and what we're actually really looking for is a feeling. Okay, what we're really looking for is that peace. What we're really looking for is an experience. Okay, and it almost doesn't matter. And again, if I steer it towards my degree and go, if it doesn't matter what religion it is, everyone's looking for an experience. Everyone's looking for. I've put it in my essay as je ne sais quoi, a certain essence that we can't quite explain. We can't put our finger on it. We want to, um, and we have our own practices, and then we say to our friend and say, "Hey, look, have you tried this meditation?" And they go, "Okay, yeah, let me try it." Oh yeah, what? You know, they just don't get meditation. Um, you're like, how did you not feel the same thing I felt? Hey, and again, that's what we do in religion. Okay, so someone way back in the past said, "Hey, look, everyone, I did this, and I'm a bishop or a monk or a, someone important in the church or in the synagogue or wherever it is. Hey, I'm an important person there. I did this and it made me feel amazing. Okay, it made me feel this. I got in touch with God and I heard all these things. Okay, why don't you try it too?" And all these people go out and try it and go, yeah, okay, maybe I felt something, maybe I'm not doing it right, maybe da 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 da, da. And people then start doing it. And a few people here and there get these positive experiences, but the vast majority of people don't. Hey, and this is why we've got thousands, if not millions, of different practices across many different religions, you know, including like indigenous cultures and stuff. Anyway, I'm getting too technical on this thing. It's not for here. That's for my essay. But um, it just made me think. Okay, so why are we doing these practices? Okay, whatever practices, and I'm not just talking about these kinds of practices. I'm talking about exercise. I'm talking about food. I'm talking about every way we create habit in our life. Okay? We're all just looking for an experience. Okay, um, so why can't we just experience it without having a hard thing, a thing that we don't want to then either push us towards doing the practice that will take us away from it, or why can't we just make it easy and just experience it now? Okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, I have some weird thoughts. So anyway, we're going to move on to meditation in a moment. Okay, once I've finally got this slow old computer in the right place, and we're going to have a fun experience in our habit of meditation. Okay, so new, super. Everyone ready? I think so. Cool. So if you haven't already, find yourself somewhere nice, comfortable to sit, lay down, and take some nice deep breaths. Just have a little reminder of just how powerful you are. You are the most powerful thing in the universe. Hard to comprehend, I know, but just allow that. You can have everything that you desire, and you can get rid of everything that you do not desire. That's how powerful you are. So just sit with that knowingness. And just relax into it. Just repeat these words in your mind or out loud. Whatever I feel and experience in the next few minutes, the next 15, 20, 30 minutes, I can carry that forward throughout my day. I can remember this feeling. I can remember it easily. I can remember this feeling whenever I want, at a moment's notice, whenever I start feeling stress or fear. I can remember how powerful I am, and I can feel calmer. And I do not have to slip into my old habits, whatever they may be. I can rewire my brain now to form new habits and to trim away places in my life where I have habits that I do not desire. Habits might include arguing, overthinking, fear, anger, sadness, rumination. They don't have to be food or watching TV or scrolling social media, although you can include those too. I can prune away at those neuronal connections and make it much harder for me to fall back into those habits. And I can lay down new tracks. I'm not quite sure where those tracks go because they could be the things I'm thinking about doing, but they could also be something entirely new. Could be something I've started and stopped in the past. It could be something I loved to do in adolescence or childhood, but things just changed as you grew up. Be open to any possibility for this new habit or habits. See if you've got a picture in your mind now. Doesn't matter if you do or don't. Maybe there's a word, a phrase, an idea. And again, maybe you're still not quite sure. Maybe it's not clear. Maybe there's not really anything at all. Maybe it's just a seed in the ground and just starting to grow. Hmm. What if you told yourself that you were ready? I am ready. I'm not. We often say, "Oh, I'm not ready to tackle this. I'm not ready to change. I'm not ready to do that new thing. I'm not ready for this new experience to happen. I'm not ready for the old experience to stop happening, even if we don't want it." What if we were ready? I'm ready to step into my power. There was never a time when I wasn't ready. I just didn't know that I was already ready. I didn't remember. You've always been ready for perfect health, always been ready for manifesting, for channeling, for doing all the things that we kind of think are impossible, or maybe not impossible, but really hard or unlikely. You've always been ready for them. We just got taught that those things weren't possible, that instant healing wasn't possible, that almost clicking our fingers and letting go of past events wasn't possible, that we had to go through pain and suffering and hours of therapy and thousands of pounds. And even then, may or may not work. But we have the power to simply stop. As long as we accept that we're ready to stop having those experiences, we're ready to accept perfect health. And now that we're ready, and we've accepted that we're ready for all of these things, the next step is to be those things. Being ready suggests you're not there yet. Being ready is a bit like being in the starting blocks at the Olympic 100-meter final, hearing the gun, but staying in the blocks. Okay? You've heard the gun, go. Be free to have anything you like. What feeling do you want now? And relax into it. to look at it and think, I could have had that all along. I could have had that in my entire life. And not only could I have had it as I see it now, I could have had spades and spades more. Because the bit that I'm seeing right now is only a tiny partial part. Because at the moment, that's all I'm able to perceive. But I can accept more. I can allow more. So just ask yourself, how much more of that feeling can I allow in right now? How much more peace or health or love or freedom can I allow in right now? How good, how wonderful can I feel right now? And how much more can that be? Always leave the door open for more. Because even though you were born ready and ready for everything, a perfect everything, you still might not be willing to accept everything. That's okay. I'm not there yet either. But I just want you to know that that is possible. Just sit in silence with that feeling, allowing more and more and more to keep growing inside you. And I don't know if you've ever seen Ben and Holly's Magic Kingdom. Nanny Plum is an elf. No, she's a fairy. Sorry, and she has a magic cauldron. And this is what's going on in my head right now. And sometimes the kids ask her to make porridge in the magic cauldron, magic jelly or magic porridge, could be either. And she uses her magic wand, and she's not always the best at spells. And the magic cauldron just keeps pumping out more and more porridge and jelly. Not at the same time, different episodes. It just keeps coming and coming and coming, more and more. An unstoppable flow of more peace, more joy, and more happiness. Just keep letting it flow, allowing it to fill you head to toe, Not only does it fill you head to toe, every possible space in your body, it spills out into the room, to all the furniture where you are, into any other people that are in your house or place where you are. Fills the house, fills your garden, fills your neighborhood, your nearest town, and then all the towns and villages around that. And just to continue expanding it across the county, region, country, as large and as far as you can go. There are no limits to how far your feeling can spread. And by spreading this feeling, you're giving it to other people. And as we know, we're all connected anyway. So by giving it to somebody else, you're giving it back to yourself anyway. The more of this feeling you give, the more it will return to you. And that's the same with any feeling. These are habitual feelings that we don't necessarily want and experience. The more we give those out, the more they come back to us. We're going to come back to the phrase of I can remember this. Whenever I start to feel stressed or angry or sad or worried, I know I can come back to this feeling. I can remember it. I can catch myself before I go down that old habitual path. I can catch it quicker and quicker and quicker until I never go down those paths again. And while we're here, we're going to take those scissors out, or the shears, or the hedge trimmer, or the strimmer, or the lawnmower, and we're going to go back to those neurons of those habits that we don't desire, the ones that lead us to anger or sadness, and we're going to cut them. We're going to trim them back, and trim them back, and trim them back. And we're going to reuse them to form new patterns, new pathways, even if it's just one strand. That might be the strand that takes you on a completely new path. And we don't worry where that path goes because we're not making any decisions about it. We're not making any decisions about good and bad, right and wrong. And we're allowing those decisions to come from a higher state of consciousness. We're allowing that to be our guide. Let effortlessness and peace be your guide. If something is hard, it's a slog, it's a struggle to do, and you have to really motivate yourself to do it, is most likely the wrong thing for that particular moment in time. Doesn't mean it's the wrong thing forever. Half an hour from that moment might be the right time. So never rule anything out entirely. But allow effortlessness to guide you, and just ask yourself, is this idea, this decision, does this feel effortless? Does it feel peaceful? And if the answer is yes, then do it. And sometimes stress comes up against us and we worry and there's doubt. Again, this is the time to remember, hang on a minute, I've got this endless amount of jelly flood peace coming out of me. I don't have to feel that stress. I don't have to feel that anger because floods of peace are pouring out of me. Just forgot about that for a moment. And I'm just going to pause in my day, whenever that might be, take a moment to re-find peace. And then the task that was causing you some stress might suddenly feel easier to do. So you're going to start noticing these moments of stress, these moments of habitual patterns and thoughts that we have throughout our day. You start noticing them more and more. And you're going to catch yourself more and more. And in doing so, you'll be pruning away the old habits, not just through meditation and visualization, but through physical action throughout your life. And the more you trim away the stress and remember peace, the easier it becomes. You'll snap out of the spirals, snap out of the rumination, the playing over of conversations, either past or future, that you have as you go about your day, and you'll start finding more moments of calm. And as you find those moments of calm, the speed of your life towards complete calm will accelerate. And just take a moment to think about something stressful that has happened today. or possibly something that you're concerned about in the next 24 hours. And allow the feelings that you've generated here today, now, to move back or forwards into the space where you experienced stress. Okay, that can be any kind of stress. Okay, anger stress, worry stress, fear stress, any of them. Any kind of seemingly negative experience. And just push some peace into there. You've got plenty, it's an infinite supply. You will never run out of peace. The only thing that happens is we forget it's there. When you feel ready, you can just start to bring yourself round. Open your eyes. Stay seated for a while. And then you can go about the next thing you're going to do. Have a great day. Cool. That's that bit done. Abby, is there anything you noticed, anything you felt or experienced through that? How's your body?
I had a lot of restless legs.
Yeah. Okay. That actually doesn't seem like a negative thing today. That's like I'm ready to move. Yeah, rather than I'm stuck, which is what it would normally be. When it's a negative thing, I'm stuck, I'm trapped. This is like, yeah, I'm ready, get up. It's time to do an action. I can't tell you what that is. It might literally be walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's there's a move kind of signal coming through.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Anything else? Did you kind of, what did you feel apart from your legs? You know, that's
Physical.
were you able to grow that kind of feeling of peace?
Yeah, it went all over the world.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you hand it out to a few people, or like in your house and around, you know, neighborhood and whatever?
Yeah, everywhere.
Cool.
Spread really quickly.
Yeah, it's that's remembering
I
your
do
power.
a bit with Reiki sometimes. When I remember, I send healing to family and friends, and then I send it to friends of friends and neighborhoods and grow it like that. So yeah, similar sort of thing, I suppose.
I mean, I guess I did something the other day. I'll give you a brief story on this. Is obviously, you know, Joe's at school, and I think it was Monday. A boy came to see her. He's a lifeguard, and over the weekend, you know, he's under 18. But over the weekend, he got called to someone who'd collapsed, and he had to give mouth to mouth, and this person died like
Oh
multiple
God.
times. They brought him back, okay, to
Wow.
like with paddles and stuff once the
Yeah.
paramedics, and he got brought back. But this young kid literally witnessed a death. I've
Mm.
never seen somebody die.
Yeah.
This kid, 16, 17 years old or whatever, somebody died in front of him. It'd only been a couple of days, but he'd been struggling with sleep. And Joe told me about it. I think either Monday, yeah, must have been Monday evening when she got home. I was like, "Don't worry, I'll sort it out." And he basically hadn't slept for 2 days, or hadn't slept very much for 2 days, really bad sleep. And the next day, yeah, again, yeah, this must have been Tuesday because I think Joe told me about it yesterday. Um, he'd gone in and he'd slept a lot better. So whether that was me or whether he'd just, he talked about it, he'd kind of come to terms with it a little bit. I don't know. But it's always worth just going, oh yeah, I heard about this thing with this person. A friend of mine told me about a friend of theirs, and I'm going to send some stuff. It's definitely worth doing. You're unlimitedly powerful. Okay, so um, anything you do is positive for somebody. Okay, and you can help people solve incredibly difficult problems without even knowing them.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. You just need to go, oh, I'm not little old Abby or little old Pete or little old whoever's watching this. I'm not little old. I'm not little old anything. I'm not little anything. I can do this. Okay. You don't, again, Reiki for me, I love it. Okay. Because it really, it gets people into this mode of like, oh, I can do really cool things.
You
Um,
can't see and you can't explain.
yeah, I can
Yeah. Yeah.
interact with things that I can't see. Amazing. Um, I have kind of gone, Reiki's great, it's limited.
Mm.
Okay, it kind of goes, right, okay, we've got certain phrases, we've got symbols, um, maybe certain patterns and movements to do with our hands. Um, and we kind of box it in and go, right, okay, there's Reiki, but Reiki is actually
Mm.
can be much, much bigger than that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
We all have the
I
ability.
suppose
You
people
don't
need
need
people like a
some
framework, don't they?
like yeah, somebody suddenly decided that, you need to be trained, you need to have
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah, yeah.
things
You
where
need insurance.
yeah,
You need a piece of paper to say, hey, yeah, look, hey, I can do this. I'll tell you who didn't have a piece of paper was basically any healer from
mm,
over 150 years ago.
yeah,
Okay? None of them had a piece of paper saying, yeah, I'm qualified to do this. They just went out and started doing stuff. And whether they were some obviously were qualified, but
mm.
um, the vast majority were not.
I guess
Not officially anyway.
that's quite interesting for another day conversation, really. But a lot of people got classed as witches and wizards because they
Mm.
had these abilities, and I
Yeah.
suppose they had to frame it in something, whatever it was, religion or something, so that they didn't get burnt at the stake or ducked. Or
Yeah, or ostracized from the
yeah,
community,
yeah,
or whatever it
yeah,
was. Yeah, 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 yeah. So that they could continue doing things and
mm,
say, "Oh yeah, no, it's not witchcraft.
no,
It's
yeah, yeah,
herbalism."
it's God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or it's God. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, exactly. So it's
mm,
yeah, we box things up because we like things neat and tidy, but
and to
actually it's
explain it. Yeah.
it's way bigger than the boxes that we've put these things in. Yeah, so just go, okay, yeah. Even though I'm doing Reiki, um, it's way more than that. I can influence anything I like
Mm.
to almost any extent that I like. It's just the only thing that's preventing me from influencing this 100% is my own belief in my own ability. And if I'm
And
doing it
I
on a
do,
person,
I do just find that difficult because on the one
yeah,
hand, I do believe that. But on the other hand, I have got a little bit of doubt, which is like niggling. And then the other
yeah,
thing is, however much I will and are confident that I can change something. If it's somebody involved in that, then they've got
Yeah,
their own will.
exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. Okay,
Yeah,
it's somebody else's willingness to accept it.
yeah. And
Okay.
you can't change that unless they want to accept it.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the frustrating bit. So it's like we can only change people as far as they're willing to go. Yeah. Um, yeah. But we can still hold these feelings for them, and we can nudge,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden maybe a door will open and they go,
Or
oh,
shift.
actually no, I
Yeah.
am willing now.
Mm.
So we just need to keep doing it and keep
Yeah.
doing it and keep doing it, and suddenly we don't know when, we don't know how, that a door might open and be like, ah, yes, I'm willing to
Mm.
accept this now, and change will occur. Um, Again, this isn't a problem I experience case, and I feel this might be common between two of us and maybe more, so I'll record it. Um, anyway, is that I'm right, they're wrong.
Mhm.
Hey, so it's the judgment of, oh, that's the wrong behavior, that's the wrong thing for
Yeah.
them to do. I'm going to go and do some Reiki or some treatment so I can change that behavior. Hey, that's probably the thing that's stopping both of us. It's the judgment that they're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the incorrect way to be.
Yeah, because they're on their path and that might be right for them.
Yeah, for them that might be the right thing. We don't know. So
No.
we just need to step back and go. This is where finding the peace and kind of doing that. Okay, whatever it is they're doing, I'm going to find peace right now.
Mm.
Okay, that's triggering me right now. Okay, so that's going stress level going up. I need to
Me
notice
too.
that and
Just
go,
saying that is triggering me.
yeah, yeah. Okay, the thoughts in my head is like, oh yeah, they did that, and she did this, and this person did that, and this person did that. Okay, even just talking about it. Okay,
Mm.
that's the neurons going.
Yeah.
That's that well-worn path, that thick track of neurons in my head going. Ah, yeah, I remember that. Hey, that's a really fun memory because it makes emotions higher. Hey, this is what our brain likes. Our brain likes high emotions. It doesn't care which ones it is. So, oh, that's exciting. High emotion. I'm going to pay attention to that. Okay, it could be anger, could be joy. Okay,
Mm.
high and high energy emotion, doesn't matter which one it is, pay attention. Value. Okay, and the more we pay attention to those things, the more value we have, the more they show up. So yeah, it's so what today was really about in the treatment was going, I'm going to recognize when I start getting those stress
Mm.
levels going up, and I'm going to put a gap in there rather than responding in my habit way. I'm going to I'm going to be able to take a step back. I'm going to remember, hang on a minute, there's another option.
You just have to take a different fork in the road.
You take a different path, which then affects them
Yeah.
because they will then take a different path.
Mm.
Their brain will go because they've got this track as well. It's like, well, I do this, Abby does this, then I do this, then Abby does this, then Abby does this, then I do this, and Abby does this. Okay, and it goes, and it's a habit. If you go, if there's I do this, and then Abby doesn't do this, this
Mm.
person goes, oh, what do I do now? They want to keep going, so they'll probably keep going, even though you've changed your habit. They'll probably
Mm.
go, they'll just try even harder, and you've got to remain resolute, and which is the really hard bit. And it's the bit
Mm.
I get frustrated with myself with, because I can do well for a period of time, and
Mm.
then it's bang straight back into the old habit, and
Mm.
it's like shit, done it again. But again, it's
Yeah.
getting better. It's catching myself more. It's catching myself for longer and going, okay, yeah, there is peace there. There is peace there. Okay,
Yeah.
we can do this. And things are changing. Things are improving mostly.
Mm.
Okay, the gaps between outbursts are longer, um, and they tend to be a bit faster to calm down.
Mm.
They're still quite common, and they still go on for quite a while, but they are improving.
Mhm.
Okay, and then again, that's another thing to just tell yourself, even if it's a bit of a fib. We're improving. Things are improving. Okay,
Mm.
well, things are
Mm.
improving. How are
Yeah.
they improving? I'm just looking. I'm just looking now. Now I'm focusing on the positive. Okay, what's
Mm.
improving?
Mm.
Well, that's improving, and that's improving, and that's improving, and that's improving. Oh yeah, actually, no, there are improvements
I do
because
that all the time,
yeah,
and I'm trying to visualize things. It's difficult when there's somebody else in the house that's
mm,
like saying things are never going to change. This is like the worst,
mm,
and they've got completely different um,
yeah,
negative outlook, and they say it's not negative, it's realistic.
fuck realism. That's you just got to remember that again. This is another person who
Yeah,
hasn't
that's they're on their path,
they
and that's their outlook. I know.
haven't been taught what you've been taught, and again, not perhaps not ready to accept that they've got all this power. Okay,
Yeah.
they just like 99% of the world, they've been indoctrinated into a certain set of beliefs, and
Mm.
um, most people hold those beliefs. Okay, this
Yeah.
is the diagnosis. This is how things are. It's never going to change.
Yeah.
It's genetic. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Whatever.
that's just the way the
A
brain is.
label.
That's just the
Yeah.
way things are. Yeah. Okay. Once you've got that label is yours
Yeah.
forever. Oh, shit. Right. Okay. But you and I know, and everyone else in this group knows. Okay. Hang on a minute. Well, these labels, they're not branded on. They're not tattooed.
Mm.
They are changeable. We've just got to go right.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
Go and stick that glue and
It's
peel
like
it off.
yeah. It's like plasticine. Okay. It's
Mm.
like okay. At the moment, we've made this plasticine to look like
Yeah.
this.
Yep.
We need to mush it up and make it look like this. Okay,
Mm.
still the same plasticine, same person, same plasticine, but we're going to change its
Yeah.
position. Okay, and it's possible. It's
Mm.
possible. We
Yeah.
always need to hold that.
Great.
All right, cool. Right, I'll done there. I'll say good night.
Thanks.
And
Have a good evening.
see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.